So the Hasbro Pulse convention or whatever they're calling it happened.
Yep.
We got new word on Heroscape. Their Kickstarter. I'm just calling it a Kickstarter because that's basically what it is. Crowdfunded. Has gone live, and we're gonna be talking about all the stuff that they revealed and they showed us at that. I'm your host Isaiah.
I'm Chris.
And this is Locked Loot.
We do not plunge headlong into folly on the orders of a single madman. Blind! Deploy the gun!
He's got nukes.
You're the last boots on the ground.
Position standby for defensive fire.
Jedi. Like my father before me.
Ding! Ding! Vex on the field.
Attention on deck. This channel is now under military control.
All right. Yeah, so they said they were going to announce a lot about Haslab, including like release window and everything, and they did show it. So we're going to break this up. The outline for this episode is going to be we're going to be talking first about what's in the kit, the price, and the miniatures, and then we're going to kind of talk about the community reaction to it.
Yep.
Because it's been kind of mixed.
Yep.
All right, so let's kick it off. Let's talk about what's in the kit, what they're actually including.
There's a lot in here. There's 71 detailed miniatures, finely detailed miniatures. And watching the stream last night or yesterday, these were better than some of the other minis I've seen.
Yeah, and people are talking about Heroscape's miniatures. I'm like, they took a huge step up. I don't know if you've looked at some of the old Heroscape miniatures. They don't exactly hold up.
No, they don't.
Other ones do, but like I think it was one of the samurai I looked at, and he like had like a blurred face and everything. I'm like, yeah, no, we're definitely taking a step up in miniature quality.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be. It looks like resin printed.
Yeah,
which is a shift from, I believe they used to be injection molded.
Yeah.
Most likely, considering the time period was before like 3D printing. So jumping to that 3D printed versus injection molding. 50 army cards with game rules. An expandable hex space, 74 terrain pieces.
Yep.
That's what it's come with. 74 base pieces and 68 walls, 9 jungle pieces. That is a lot of stuff there.
Oh yeah.
You have the jungle, you have the base pieces, and then you have like ruins and stuff.
Yeah,
and the walls looked fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Like if you take a look at the walls, they're so detailed, and they're not going to be compatible with the old castle wall. These are meant to be definitely different.
Yep.
So and that I am perfectly okay with that.
And they've got 5. They added some to the new ones, but they're new factions.
So this is interesting because their wording on this is 5 original factions. Yeah, so these are the new factions. I think the new one that they showed was the Nemesis Warbrood. We didn't know about that before this.
Yeah.
At least I didn't. Looking through this, I don't know if they showed it off earlier in like their Discord and something. I don't have time to scroll through a Discord for all hours of the day. The Nemesis Warbrood is something I didn't get a full look at before. And then of course 20 additional game scenarios.
Yeah.
Something that they had initially, like ideas for building your map, things like that, different terrains, different objectives, things like that. There's a lot in this kit.
There is.
They were running it through, and this is a ton because you got the 9 jungle terrain pieces, you've got the castle, and you've got the actual hexes, which are 74. 74 hexes are equivalent to the original master set. The wall is kind of its own thing. I kind of throw it in there with the ruins, and then you got the 9 jungle pieces. Then you got 71 minis. Okay, and of course pricing. Yeah, so the price is $250
for all this stuff. This is one of the best deals I've ever seen.
That is interesting that comes up because this is okay when you look at it simply. Sorry, we're skewed here. The thing is, we're very skewed. Because we play Legion, we play Armada, we've seen Warhammer, we know how much miniature games cost. So we're very much skewed when we see price points on this, because we look at this and we compare it to other war games.
Yeah.
Heroscape is kind of the gateway to war games. It's simple, it'll teach you everything you need to know about war games, but the community is very much, I wouldn't say wargamer. I would say they're very much like tabletop players, not
Yeah.
not as much war gamers.
Mhm.
So there's been a lot of outcry about the pricing, and we'll talk about that later. But in my opinion, when you look at this, especially with the cost of miniatures, this is a good price.
Yeah.
Especially for this, like everything that's in it, get back into the game. This is about what you'd pay. Well, you'd pay a lot more. I think the base price for like getting into Warhammer is like $500.
Yeah.
The base price for Legion, probably per person, you're looking at 99 for the core set, 30 per pack. Um, Terrain walls, I would say you're looking at about 300.
Yeah.
Armada's the same way. You can get the core set, then getting all your ships and everything.
Mhm.
About 300.
Mhm.
So this is very competitive for other war games, especially with the jump in design of the miniatures, and of course they're unpainted. We're okay with that. But let's go through some of the minis that they showed off, because let's start with the Warbrood, because they showed off some great stuff for the Warbrood.
Oh yeah.
So the Warbrood, they showed off first their queen, the Madrix the Conqueror, this big bug thing. These miniatures are huge when you look on the battlefield.
Oh yeah.
like how like towering over walls.
Yeah.
She herself was just massive. Not to mention, look at that miniature. I know they're all subject to change, but that miniature looks beautiful. I don't think they'll change too much.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
I think they'll just get finer details
Mhm.
if they can. Then you got the Festering Honor Guard.
Yeah, the honor guard.
The Honor Guard. And then you've got the Outbound Legionaries and the Oathbound Phalanx.
The phalanx is just basically a giant wall of bugs.
If you hate bugs, these are your guys. Well, if you love bugs, these are your guys. If you hate them, good luck. They talk kind of about what they did and how the honor guards did, like their big thing was like festering. So like I think it's the honor guards that can like essentially when they kill a unit, spawn or heal.
No, it's the queen.
The queen can do that. Sorry, the queen can spawn honor guards.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they showed them off very much. I don't know. They say they're bioengineered insect warriors, which means they're taking a very much lore focused look at this, which is great. You know, Heroscape wasn't exactly known for its lore, but it was there.
Yeah.
And then we've got the new stuff for the Dawn Raider Syndicate. Now they already talked about who was it? The Widow, the First Officer, the and some of the like the squads,
Mhm.
because those were shown off before.
Yeah.
Again, and these guys are kind of they're all in different colors, primarily because you know they're not, the Dawn Raider Syndicate is kind of your mercenary group. They'll fight for anybody.
Yeah, they'll fight for anybody.
Uh,
Highest bidder.
so as far as those goes, I'm not gonna get into too much. But their miniatures look great. The designs look interesting. You've got like these gorilla things.
Yeah.
The gorillas look great. You got the big orc guy and and then of course they showed off Admiral EJ-1M, big robot with 4 guns and 4 arms, heavily armored.
Heavily armored.
Which means, but he's a stretch goal.
Yeah.
So I noticed this, and I'm pretty sure this is. I could be wrong, but all the people in gray are stretch goals.
Yep.
For this campaign. Okay, then you got the guys in green, which are the Clockwork Combine. They're in green and blue. I think they're different factions, but same different sub factions, same faction. So we already showed off the wing commanders and all of them, but we got the bears.
Bears.
The bears are here. Specifically giant bears with harpoon guns and giant bears in armor. You know, gotta love them. Gotta love it. Of course, then they kind of talked about. We're going through these quick. Like we don't want to sit here. We've gone through it. We've talked about these before, so I'm just going through some of the newer stuff. They showed off a lot for the Dryans.
Oh yeah.
They finally got their minis. They showed how detailed those minis are going to be.
And they look awesome.
I can't wait to get those painted. Channa, the Zenith Wing, Anshu, the Welkanai, they look fantastic.
Yeah.
This entire thing just looks great,
Mhm.
honestly. and I can't wait to see them get played. Now let's discuss stretch goals and the goal of this. So the thing is, they need a certain amount of people to buy this for it to actually release. So they're doing a crowdfunding.
Yep.
This means that what they're gonna do is they need 8,000 units sold. Discord confirmed that it is not 8,000 people backing; it is 8,000 units. They have 45 days to do this. Currently, they're at over 1,100 in the first 24 hours, so they're on good track.
Yep.
Of course, they have stretch goals for Sergeant Drake Alexander at 10, Solon at 12, which is guy on a dragon.
Yep.
And Q11 at 14, and then Shiori at 15, and of course Raylan at 16.
And the Q11 is a new Deathwalker. Basically.
I think he's a play on Sergeant Q.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, looking at these, I think it's a great deal. I think it's
yeah.
definitely worth it, especially if you want to see more Heroscape in the future.
Oh yeah.
Because this is very much you buy it or you won't see more.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they can't pull off this game,
Yeah,
in this state, it won't happen.
Yeah.
It just means they don't have the people for it. They don't have the interest in it. Hasbro will see it as there's no interest. And again, I say this is just the first step because when Haslab does this, they've already talked about how they've got other expansions ready.
Yeah.
They're ready to release more. They just need the support and the permissions to do it.
Yeah, they need the audience.
Yeah, and so that's what they're confirming here. So if you got the funds to buy $250, I know it sounds steep, but that's a lot of minis. You can drag in a lot of players. If you got a group of 4 and you all can buy one or all together buy one, I would do it.
Oh yeah. It's a fun. It's like, as you said, we're skewed.
We're skewed because we play other war games.
But this is like a really good deal, especially for how detailed those minis are.
Oh yeah. So they're super detailed.
Like they're even more detailed than some of the Star Wars minis.
Yeah, Legion minis got nothing on these things. But looking at it, I'm going, okay, so you've got 4 people. Say you have a group of 4, because this can be played with a group of 4.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 4 factions. You got 70 minis. Guess what? You don't have to play with the same faction, which is they don't have factional rules like other games.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means you could split this anyways. If one of your guys wants to play the Furry Force, be like, okay, yeah, we go in as a group. You want the Furry Force stuff? Take the Furry Force stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're the Clockwork Syndicate. They're the Furry Force.
Yep.
I want to play the Dryans. Cool. I'll pitch in. I'll get the Dryans.
Mm-hmm.
And then when expansions come out, you buy more. But this does not happen unless everybody's on board.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. Now, let's move on to the community reactions to this. Now, I've been hanging out in some Heroscape pages on Facebook. I've been lurking, and I've been checking out the Heroscape forums. They're very mixed on this.
Oh yeah.
There's a few things that are like a lot of people like the major things like price and design changes. For instance, a big thing that they talked about that the community has a little bit of concern about is the card design.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're moving away from the big hex ones and they're just hexagon. And I feel like they're going to be a lot smaller. I feel like that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is people are going to get them and they're going to say, wait, these aren't the same. Or they're not designed the same, so they might be confused against the old stuff.
Yeah.
But you'll see the community step out on these. Like, if the community finds they don't like these cards, somebody around there is going to make a template for these. They're going to make a template and, like, design old school cards, or they're going to redesign the old school cards in the new style.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. This game is very much community driven. It's the only reason it lasted so long is because of the community engagement.
Yeah.
And so if there's and not to mention these card designs are not finalized.
No, they're not.
If there's enough outcry about this, there's a good chance that they could redesign the cards.
Yeah, like I really like the design of the old cards.
The old like hexagonal cards, I think they were big.
Uh-huh.
They were easy to read. I like these kind of new hex thing. If it's done correctly, it'll be
Yeah.
really nice. But again, it could, if it doesn't work, they could just redesign it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of this isn't finalized. Another thing that the community has brought up, which I think they have a point, is cost.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a big investment. This is $259 after taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They announced free shipping though, so that's good. $259 is still a lot to throw out at this.
Yeah.
Ideas that have been thrown around is why wasn't there multiple backer levels?
Exactly.
I don't know if that's a Haslab thing where they don't have multiple backer levels. Because okay, let's take it from a community perspective.
Yeah.
You don't have $250 to buy the whole set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what if you have all the terrain you want?
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't we estimate the cost of the terrain versus the minis? Let's say the minis are, I don't know, $150 for all of them.
Yeah.
That sound fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a fair price for 70 minis.
Oh, yeah.
If you just want the minis, you can buy in for just the minis at $150.
Yeah.
If you want just the terrain, you could buy in at $125.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the whole set, like, you could split this up any way you want.
Oh, yeah.
They could have pieced this out and been like, okay, so you want just the minis? Cool. $125, $150, $175. $150 sounds fair for all the minis?
Yeah.
Especially with the cost that you're paying for Heroscape minis now.
Yeah.
That is huge. Yeah, my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like how much you're paying for like jungle terrain. Like, you look at it and people are like, the range is like $100 to $300.
Yeah, for like 3 trees and 3 spiders.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So if you wanted like the jungle terrain, they could be like, okay, just the jungle terrain, $50.
Yeah.
If you want all the tiles, like they could have pieced this out any number of ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The castle and tiles, 150.
Yeah.
Castle and tiles, 150. Just tiles, 100. Or I don't know how they priced that out, but they could have spec'd it out so there's multiple layers where you're like, you just want this, you can buy this. You get a lot of people going in there going, I just want this.
Yeah.
I just want this. And then some people that are new is seeing, oh, okay, well, these people are playing it. I want everything. Although I would still be like, give me everything.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. You'd still get the give me everything people where you're like, I want the new terrain. I want everything you have to offer.
Yeah.
As far as pricing goes, we talked about it being a good deal earlier. Let's discuss pricing in depth, because we kind of talked about the failure of the like multiple pricing levels. But let's look at the price on its own, which is, honestly, you look at it, okay, 71 miniatures, 50 units.
Mm-hmm.
50 units. Because there's 50 army cards.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 50 units. 50 units and a full terrain for 250.
That's $5 a unit.
Yeah, that's $5 a unit, which is a good price. I mean, considering like the issue is, if we look at old Heroscape and we look at new Heroscape and we look at the massive change in gaming culture and the economy and everything.
Yeah.
It's good for wargamers. Wargamers look at this and go, oh man, that's $5 a mini. That's $5 a unit.
Yeah.
$5 a unit. People would kill over that.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a good price, because we're used to playing playing Legion. We're not even touch Warhammer. Let's not talk about the cost of Warhammer minis.
No, we're not going to talk about those. Legion minis, you get...
if you want a hero, they're $20.
Yeah.
$20 for a hero.
Yeah.
A full squad, 30, 35. Big vehicle, 40, 50.
Yeah.
You're looking at that pricing. And that could be an apples to oranges comparison here, which is why we want to look at old school Heroscape, where you had packs sold for packs. I believe they were $15 to $20.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. I'm doing research on like the fall of Heroscape and what happened to it. And part of the reason was the packaging. So let's not talk about the fact that this is a failed product.
Yeah.
Originally, Heroscape was a failed product. So part of the reason was how they bundled their individual expansion units. And I found that out. So they did a bunch of squads, and you'd pay $15 for the squad. Cool. $15 for a unit. You're paying what? Do the math here. We got 50 units, $250. It's $25 for 5. So it's still $5 a unit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought we were talking $5 a mini.
Yeah.
$5 a unit.
Yeah.
That is cheaper than original Heroscape.
Yeah.
If you look at it. Not to mention, like, this is why Heroscape failed initially, is how they packaged individual units. So they did their units, and they did, like, each wave had 4 expansions of common units, and then 1 of unique heroes.
Oh, I can see the problem there.
Everybody wanted all the common units because you could have more than 1. You only needed 1 pack of the heroes.
Yeah.
So all these stores got filled with the unique heroes, and stores couldn't sell them.
Yeah.
So they couldn't order them individually. They couldn't say, I want those squads.
Yeah.
They had to order the entire wave. So they're stuck with all these minis. That's just a side tangent. Like I said, I'm doing some research on like a fall of Heroscape to kind of discuss why this game failed in the first place. To see where it failed and succeeded, because it succeeded on a community level. We're 12 years away from it, and it still has an active community.
Yeah.
Tournaments, players, everything. So the community level succeeded. The issue was the design level.
Design and marketing.
Design and marketing. And that's on Hasbro. That is completely on Hasbro.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, cost-wise, you're looking at $5 a unit. And that is if we just took, you pay $250 for the minis.
Yeah.
That's not like including the terrain.
That's not including any of the terrain.
Let's look at the terrain. I mean, how much do you pay for terrain nowadays?
Depends on where you get it. Most war gamers will get it, at the pet shop. So they've got really good terrain.
No, I mean specifically the Heroscape terrain.
Oh, the Heroscape
yeah,
terrain.
If you hear some clicking in the background, that's me searching up the cost of Heroscape terrain. Okay, so just quick looking at Etsy, because that's the fastest place I can find it. Okay, so Heroscape Master Set Rise of the Valkyries is $199. That's equivalent in terrain. Well, maybe equivalent. It doesn't come with I believe this comes with way more terrain, because this has the jungle set in it.
Yeah.
So it comes with the jungle set. The jungle set, you're looking at $125. We'll round it down. We'll be very conservative on these prices. Okay, so you're paying probably $100 for the jungle terrain.
Yeah.
Minimum. You're going to be paying Rise of the Valkyries, probably, let's go low on this and say 150. Okay, and that doesn't include nearly as much terrain. Looking at the castle, which are the ruins, because this only include Rise of the Valkyrie only has two ruins, which is nothing.
No.
So if you're looking at ruins, your equivalent would be the castle. You're probably gonna spend, I don't know, $60 on the castle,
if not more.
We're going way conservative. Like, I took this Rise of the Valkyrie at 200 and said, no, bring it down to 150. We took the jungle train, we're like, it's usually like 125 to 300. Bring it down to 100. Let's talk, and then of course we're talking the castle. We're like, I don't have a perfect price, but I'm like, $60 is on the low end.
Yeah.
If probably that, you're probably way more. So 60, 160. So you're looking about $300 for terrain alone. Of course, getting the Rise of the Valkyries, you do get 30 units. Well, 30 minis.
Man.
No, that is nothing.
Yeah.
That is nothing compared to what you're getting with this kit. So pricing wise, it adds up. And then it comes with everything to play the game. Of course. Okay. And the community outcry, they're like talking about this because another community issue that they've been having is the minis.
Mhm.
They don't like the colors.
I don't blame them. Some of the colors are just like,
I
eh.
I do not blame them for this. Some of the colors are hideous. Like you got a puke green for one of them. The reds don't really look good. The dark purple doesn't look good. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I know they're trying to like split them out for factions, make them so you know what faction they belong to. But at the same time, I'm going, you you picked some horrendous colors.
Yeah.
Like you just look at the design, like the example like promotional material, the big picture
Mhm.
of everything. These things pop out.
Mhm.
They do not look like they belong
Mhm.
because they're original. Like the uh the hexes look very kind of original style.
Yeah.
They're probably split. They either, and this is like backdoor stuff that I had to learn about. This is either a refurbished injection mold,
Mhm.
or they learned how to 3D print these.
Yeah.
That or these is like, I don't know what they did because I assume these are the new terrain that we're getting.
Mhm.
So it's either a refurbished injection mold, which is costly, or it's 3D printed.
Mhm.
Either way, it's the terrain.
Yeah.
But
They
uh,
pop.
they pop. These colors pop on this, and that is a problem. Like tone down the reds a little bit. If you like just tone down the brightness,
Mhm.
made it closer to like a orange. Like tone down the orange, make it more red orange.
Yeah.
Tone down the reds. Well, the reds don't bother me. The
The
red
red-
is a nice like middle maroon color.
Yeah.
The blues could be darkened a little bit. The bright green needs to be just shifted completely.
I'd say like a forest green.
Forest green, I would be all right with like a forest green.
Yeah.
If you really want the green, I would say forest green's the way to go.
Yeah.
But that bright green and let's ditch puke green.
Yeah.
Puke green just doesn't belong. Or if there's enough fan outcry, because again, these are subject to change.
Mhm.
Production hasn't started yet. They said that production starts as soon as they hit their backer bill, and then it should be shipped sometime next year. They anticipate fall next year is when it'll be all of them will be shipped out. People will start receiving them. But as far as this goes, this is very much the colors can be changed.
Oh
The
yeah.
colors can be shifted. Like if there's enough fan outcry about the colors, make them all gray.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I would love them all gray because it's easier to prime and paint.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, and if you're mad about the colors, dude, yeah, everybody could say, well, you could just go paint them. Yeah, you could. Or the middle ground option would be to, just prime them.
Yeah.
Prime them in white, prime them in black, prime them how you want them to. Prime them how you want them to be, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Put some lacquer on them, call it good. That's the solution.
Yeah.
It's an easy solution, but I understand like the colors are ugly. I get you there.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me because I intend to paint these anyway.
Mhm.
I intend to break out the brushes and just go full hand.
Yep.
Like my dryans are gonna be beautiful.
This is gonna be a weekend painting project, if not more.
Yeah. So I'm saying this like the colors shift them for the people who aren't gonna paint them.
Yeah.
But we're gonna paint them. So I'm like I'm on a fence where I don't care about the colors because they're gonna be covered up with they're gonna get primed, they're gonna get painted, they're gonna get lacquered, and they're gonna get based.
Mhm.
You can bet I'm basing these things. So there's that edge there, and so looking at it from that angle, shift the colors, make it easier to prime, print them all gray if you have to.
Yeah. Gray's cheaper anyway.
Gray's cheaper anyway. It could be a cost saving measure. But that's my opinion. I think this is a great place to like kind of go through like Heroscape. Heroscape's is an interesting place.
It's an interesting game, to be fair.
It is a very interesting game. I'm confused about the target audience because the target audience is very much a casual group.
Mhm.
I'm in a Heroscape group, and there's so many posts like complaining about this, and I'm like, guys, yeah. I mean, one thing I don't agree with, one thing that I am downright I don't agree with,
Mhm.
not selling this in Europe or in Australia.
Yeah, why?
You're not making this available to them. In fact, there was already a post on the Heroscape that were like, Australians, is there anybody that can help us? Europeans, is there anybody that can help us? Like, they want this game too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, honestly, they'll find a way. Life finds a way. But they need that opportunity, and that was a huge market for that 8,000 to be like, just cut off an entire 2 continents.
Yeah.
Cut off a massive amount of purchasing for this.
Oh yeah. That's Hasbro.
I think it was Hasbro.
Yeah.
The question is how much of their release, the release problems, like what if the release problems for this, like the pricing, was Hasbro interference? How much of this was Hasbro interference?
Probably a lot
And
of
how
it.
much of this was the company itself trying to do this? Because they did some good work. Like they talked about it. They said they brought in original design teams. They crowdsourced design. They got like the competitive players to make sure things were balanced out against each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of passion into this project.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder how much Hasbro interference, because it was a failed product.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to state this enough. This was a failed product initially.
Yeah, it was.
And it failed for a multitude of reasons. A lot of it was like outside of the community's control. A lot of it was Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, it was owned by Hasbro, so it was Hasbro. So a lot of it was Hasbro's like design choices and how they marketed it, and then of course throwing it off to Wizards of the Coast, because Wizards of the Coast is notorious for caring about somebody else's IPs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't agree with the way, because like we've said, Hasbro probably made all of this. If they'd have just done like a base Kickstarter, they would have had this funded in about probably 2 weeks, if less than that. It's been like a week.
Oh, yeah, it would be funny. Like, if you look at the funding goal for this, the funding goal is absurd. So they need 8,000 people,
It's $2 million. I did the math yesterday.
$2 million. It might be more than 2 million. Sorry, we're doing the math here.
I think it's just Hasbro being
It
money
is
hungry.
literally 2 million.
I think it's just Hasbro being money hungry.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is day one. So I'm showing here as of recording, literally looking at it, we are at 1145 backers, which means in one day, 24 hours, well, 26 hours,
Yeah.
they have raised almost $300,000.
Yeah.
That is a massive amount of money to raise that quickly.
Yeah.
So honestly, this is a project that people want to see.
Oh yeah.
I want to see it. So, but the issue is, I don't think Hasbro's gonna market this very well.
No, they didn't market the original Heroscape that well.
Yeah, so we can't trust them with that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm covering Heroscape so much, is because the community needs to cover this.
Mm-hmm.
The community needs to do outreach. The community needs to get new people involved.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I hadn't even heard of the game 5 years ago when you introduced it to me.
Yeah, when you just rolled into my house and I had it on a table.
Yeah.
Then there's like, so it's got to be community outreach, and the community is already like running with this. I saw somebody who already did like poster mock-ups with a QR code and everything that links to this for like LGSs, bulletin boards, and all of that. So I'm like, the community has to market this.
Yeah, they do.
Because when the community finishes marketing this and it takes off, because a lot of people may not have heard of it. And you as players of the game, it's time to introduce new players.
Yeah.
It's time to grab your friends and be like, hey, you want to play a game? It's really easy to learn. Because this game is really simple to learn.
Yeah.
We just played it yesterday with all of the like correct rules, because we hadn't been playing it, right? We played it with all the correct rules and everything, and we're like, dang, this game's easy.
It's easy and it's fun.
Yeah. It's easy, fun, and quick.
Yeah.
Like, setup takes 20 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
10 minutes for drafting. And then playtime, you can run through rounds in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So you can go and go and go.
Yeah, like total like setup, draft, playtime, you probably have about an
hour. Which is nothing.
Yeah.
So like, introduce your friends. Show them how to play. It's not hard. Because if we keep introducing new players, that means this will grow.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Grow this community. to grow. And of course, there's another aspect to this, and this is another piece that's important. This is why we're here. This is where we come in. Part of what makes these games succeed is content creation.
Oh yeah.
Heroscape is flush for content. Heroscape, they like butchered the lore. I guess there's some lore to it, which wasn't like super advanced or anything, like simple stuff that nobody who plays the game has ever heard of, except for like really deep people. And apparently, the people designing this, because you heard them talking, and they're
Yeah, I heard
very
them
much
talking
lore
yesterday, I'm like,
centered.
wait, lore?
Lore?
What lore?
I smell lore. Give it to me. So the content creators really need to take off. I recommend these. Honestly, these communities need to be flooded with battle reports, which are big because you get to show off the game. You get to show off how you played.
Yeah.
Battle reports, reviews, unit designs, and Loxloot may run with this a little bit. I'd love for us to get active in the Heroscape scene.
That'd be awesome.
So we're gonna be running a lot more Heroscape. Like, if you check our channel, we might have on our YouTube channel, we might have some videos of battle reports later. If we can record full games, we'll record full games.
I think that'd be fun.
That would be a blast. And then of course, unit reviews.
Yeah.
Who are they good with? Who are they not good with? Like, for instance, let's take for instance, Jake was playing. I don't know what he ran a guy that boosts defense, and he didn't realize that. He ran a guy that synergizes with elves. He didn't realize that. Of course, and then I got I played Deathwalkers.
Yeah.
I played Deathwalkers. I thought they were weak, so I drafted the Deathwalker 9000 and the Deathwalker 8000 before looking at their health. I was like, they're 1 health. Then I looked at their dice and like, they have 9 dice. And then I looked at Deathwalker and like, he boosts range.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so who do you synergize with? Well, Deathwalkers synergize with Deathwalkers.
Yep.
And
I played Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie. That was interesting.
Kyrie synergized with Kyrie. However, if you're playing Kyrie, make sure you get range. Because I made the mistake of making them all melee except for one.
They bring a big fuck off dragon.
Yeah, that too.
Not that dragon. He ran the green dragon. I think if he had the option, because we rolled randomly for draft order too. So I think if he would have gotten it, you would have gotten Mimring. So you would have had that ranged dragon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all we have for this week.
I think it is.
So please share Heroscape. Share it with your friends. Teach them. Of course, you've made it this far. You might as well subscribe.
Yeah.
Like us on podcasts. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You know, we're seeing a lot of interaction on YouTube, so please, we'd like to see you guys join us.
Come see us on Twitch too.
Don't forget Twitch. We do stream on Twitch. I mostly stream Shadow of War. I like to play with the Nemesis system, but I might also be streaming Cyberpunk 2077.
I think I'm going to be jumping on the Cyberpunk train too, because I forgot how much I missed that game.
That game is great. I'm just working on getting my nanowire. Anyway, we can't just sit here and talk about that. I'm your host, Isaiah.
I'm Chris.
It's time to log out.